What's up, guys? Today we've got a lot to talk about. Most primarily, we're going to be talking about the Milwaukee Brewers and where they stand at the All-Star break, as well as some more Manny Machado news that you guys will be interested in. But before we get to that, I have to address the incident that happened last night involving Josh Hader and some old tweets that resurfaced while he made his All-Star game debut. So last night, if you didn't know, Josh Hader made his first ever All-Star game appearance. And during his appearance, some old tweets from around 2011, 2012 resurfaced, and within these tweets there were a variety of racial slurs used, vile, disgusting remarks, homophobic comments as well. In fact, one of the tweets he had said, "I hate gay people." He used the N-word multiple times. It was really an awful look for him, an awful look for the Brewers organization. It was disgusting and awful in its own right. After the game, he was interviewed, and he chalked it up to just being immature, and he said, when you're a kid, you just tweet what's on your mind. I have a little bit of a problem with that, because I was 17 years old when I made this channel, and when Josh Hader tweeted those remarks, he was 17 years old. I would have never, ever dreamed of ever tweeting anything even close to that, or saying anything like that in one of my videos. That is disgusting and crude, and the fact remains he was a prospect for the MLB draft too when this was going around. He was up and coming. I don't understand why he made these tweets. I don't understand why they weren't deleted when he was drafted. I don't understand why any of this really happened to begin with. It's really a tough situation. That being said, I do believe in forgiveness. I'm glad he apologized for it. I'm glad he owned up to his remarks. I'm really hoping that we can move on as quickly as possible. The MLB assigned him to sensitivity training, which I believe is the proper response to this. But other than that, Josh Hader's a Brewer. He apologized for it, and many of his teammates even said that that's not the Josh Hader I know, that Josh Hader is not like that. Especially not now. So I'm just going to try and move on from this. If we have any more details or anything like that, my opinion could change, but I truly believe that he is probably a changed man. I think he is. I think he's a changed person. He doesn't believe anything he said back when he was 17, and there are a lot of people that are around my age that are probably that immature too, so I'm just glad that he apologized, and hopefully he can move on from the situation as quickly as possible. But anyways, with that put aside, now let's talk about Milwaukee Brewers news. Let's get back to sports here. So the Milwaukee Brewers at the All-Star break are 55-43. They had a little bit of a downturn at the end of the All-Star break. You guys saw my video for the last game they played before the All-Star break. The walk-off by Josh Bell. That was an incredibly heartbreaking, crushing loss. It was, you guys saw how, visibly depressed I looked, but I am rather optimistic for the second half. I think this Brewers team is not defined by 1 week of bad baseball. I think they are a good ball club. I think they are going to make the playoffs. I don't know if they're going to win the division, however. I do still think at the moment the Cubs are a better team. But making the playoffs for the Brewers would be huge, considering that they've only made it 4 times in their entire franchise history, which dates back to 1970. I really think the Brewers are still in a good position. Even with the losing streak, they're still in a great position. And in fact, their 55 wins is still tied for the National League lead with the Chicago Cubs. And their 55 wins at the All-Star break is also a franchise record, too. So there's a lot to look forward to for the Brewers in the second half. They have a lot of great players. They had 5 All-Stars this year: Jesus Aguilar, Christian Yelich, Lorenzo Cain, Josh Hader, and Jeremy Jeffress. There's a lot to look forward to, you guys. 1 week of baseball will not define this team. I do not believe that they are going to collapse. I think they're a better team than when they did in 2014 and kind of when they did in 2017. I really do believe in this team, and I do also believe that they are going to be making some trades here in the very near future. In fact, I talked a lot about Manny Machado in the past week or so, and the last video I made talked about him not coming to Milwaukee, and that the Dodgers were going to get him. Today, it is being reported that the Dodgers and Orioles deal that would have sent 5 prospects from the Dodgers to the Orioles in exchange for Machado might have fallen through, given that the one or more of the 5 prospects had issues with their physical. So what that means is that the Brewers, who had the second best offer, according to the Orioles, right behind the Dodgers, might now have a chance to get Machado. And I know I talked a lot about why the Brewers didn't get Machado and why I didn't want them to get Machado, but if this deal does not involve Burns or Keston, I am 100% for it, because I think both of those two are untouchable prospects. Everyone else, to me, is expendable. I think this has the potential to be a special season for the Brewers. I don't necessarily think that this is the best the Brewers are going to be throughout their entire 5 to 10 year window, however long you might want to call it. But if the Brewers do have a legitimate chance of getting Machado and they don't have to give up Burns or Keston, absolutely go for it. And if the Brewers do in fact get him for that, then that is a big win for them. So, and it looks increasingly possible that the Brewers might actually be able to get Machado given these recent developments. And because of the physicals and the issues with the physicals, that might allow this deal to fall through, and the Brewers might be right there to swipe Machado right before the All-Star break ends, and he might be very well in a Brewers uniform facing the Dodgers on Friday. So we will have to see what happens. I am very excited by this prospect. My biggest issue with it, obviously, was giving up Burns or Keston. I didn't want to give up either of those guys. If the Brewers have an offer on the table that doesn't include either of those prospects, then that is a good deal to me. I think Burns and Keston are going to be very, very significant contributors to the team within the next 5 years or so in their 5-year window, so I don't want to deal them. If the Brewers, in fact, do deal one or both of them for Machado, I will be rather disappointed. I would be rather also not disappointed because, you know, a part of me really gets excited when anyone new comes to the Brewers, and getting a guy like that, even if it's only for 3 months, would definitely get me excited. In the long run, I don't think it's the right decision, but if it does in fact happen, I'm not going to be shouting to the world how bad of a deal it was, because I'd just be too excited that we got Manny Machado. But you guys know my thoughts on that. I won't go any further into detail. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's all I have to say today. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.